When somebody buys a Rodriguez, their bike hasn't been created yet. Every bike is a custom.
Building a bike here, it's super fun because it's like there's so many different processes and like so many goodies to look through.
I think one of the things that makes it unique is the people that you're dealing with.
My name is Max Hitch. I've been working at Rodriguez and Ericsson since 2015. My name is Alder. I am the master mechanic here.
My name is Dan Toll. I have been the owner of R+E Cycles since 1993, and I've worked here since 1987.
Dan and Smiley know a whole ton about fitting, so everything starts with the fit. We want a bicycle that fits the customer and that they're comfortable with and they're happy with.
You would start with, kind of a consultation on what kind of riding you're going to do, what kind of bike you currently have.
Really hone in what you want your dream bike to be.
We measure torso, inseam, foot, arm, shoulder.
To make sure it like really fits you like a glove.
Fitting has always been the focus of the shop. So Angel, even back in 1983, as far back as 1983, he was very computer oriented and keeping data. So the software, we've written it all ourselves. And the reason we wrote our own fitting software is because the software that was available, the recommendations available back in the 1980s and 90s, was all data that came from racing coaches. And so when somebody would come in the door and we would fit them and we would use data that was for a 22-year-old racer, and they're a 55-year-old person with a bad back and a injured shoulder, and the data didn't mean anything. Our data is based on what our customers have chosen. So that's NextFit, that's our fitting software. Boom, here's a good recommended starting point. So we can set this unit up to that geometry, and then we can kind of dial in the fit.
The fun part's like picking a color, kind of the hard part.
They can design their paint job. Smiley has a lot of fun, pulling up a drawing with the customer. They'll sketch out their paint design and we just create it.
You can even pick tubing too. So you could get a road bike, but you could still get the beefiest tubing if you wanted to, if you're really after strength. Yeah, of course it's gonna be heavy, or you could go like the complete opposite side and go lightweight or somewhere in the middle.
Paperwork goes into we call it the green file.
Dan and I will pick it up, take it upstairs.
Sit down, do the drawing.
Go over everything.
Comb through the parts list, make sure everything that's on there is going to work.
Sometimes it's real quick, sometimes it's a bit of a longer process.
Drawing gets stapled to that invoice and goes downstairs.
Todd and I will go over the frame drawing and we'll check the tubing, make sure all the brazons look correct, and we'll go over any accessories that are marked that might need anything custom hand fabricated for them. Take the tubing, we'll start on the table, cut our lengths, machine face our head tubes. A lot of frame builders will have jigs and they'll set them up on a vertical mill, and then they'll use like a high-end hole saw, and they will miter their radii on their tube. Whereas we have what we call the Enterprise, named after the Star Trek Enterprise. And it is a large belt sander with a massive radius jig, so we can change any rotation or angle that we need. And we get a very airtight fit for our tubes. From the table, once your bike is tacked, as all the tubes are curved or mitered or welded, and we tack them, we move it off the table onto a stand, we weld up the whole frame, and then we do all the brazons. So we face the BB shell so it's nice and flush. We go to our alignment table. Anything that could be wrong, we'll make those adjustments at that point, make sure the wheel's all aligned, and then we do the last braze up on the dropouts, and then it goes to the shower to rinse off all the flux. Then we do cleanup, and from cleanup it gets hung up to be QC'd again. Then it'll go on over to paint, and then Teresa will take it from there, and then it gets marked off in the NextFit system, and then it comes up here, gets hung up behind me like those guys, and the guys in SBR will come over and pick them up and grab their bins of all their parts.
Prep the frame. If it's a S&S bike, we'll do frame saver inside. If it's an ultra lightweight bike, we'll do frame saver as well, and build the wheels.
As soon as the parts are on it, it gets marked assembled. Smiley gets an email that says this customer can be called, their bike's ready to go.
It's always so nice to see when the person picks up, you know, and they do the final fit with Smiley, and like you can really see they're like, wow, like, you know, I've never gotten a custom bike before, and they're just like blown away by how good it feels and like how it rides and everything like that.
And they're on Team Rodriguez. That's our team. I mean, really.
I love it. It's a lot of fun.